So, as for the norm with the past few seasons, the weapons on offer from the season pass and also from seasonal activities have kind of gone under the radar for both PvP and PvE, excluding the shotgun because people like shotguns and also have mixed ideas on the shotgun itself because it can roll quick draw vorpal, but it's not like the optimal class, da 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 da. So, on the PvE side of things, not many people have been doing too much with the worthy mods, and so I kind of took it upon myself to mess around with them and put the mods on the Iron Banner gear that I got from doing the quest. And in practice, it's actually pretty dumb, and I felt the need to share this. So, to kind of start things off, I made this set on my Warlock, and you could theoretically transfer the same build to a Titan on the Sunspot Hammer tree if you really wanted to. Hunters kind of get the short end of the stick on this because they don't have anything that really regenerates the abilities you need for it. If you want to get the biggest benefit out of this build, you're going to either want to be Sunspot Hammer or a top tree Dawnblade. And any tree of Dawnblade can kind of pull this off, realistically, but top tree is the one that does it best. And you'll start to understand that when I explain the mod setup. So, with the basics, stat-wise, you're going to want an investment into strength and discipline above everything else. Most of this build is going to revolve around grenade and melee, so focus your investment there before anything else. My builds have somewhere between 60 to 80 discipline, 50 to 60 strength, but you can split it however you really want to. Onto the mods themselves, you're going to want your armor on the solar type, since all of the Warmind mods that are good are solar, with the exception of one. For most builds, you're going to be looking at 1 Void and 4 Solar, or all 5 Solar, just because. Onto the mods themselves, you're looking at Global Reach, Burning Cells, Rage of the Warmind, Grasp of the Warmind, and Wrath of the Warmind. Depending on the area you're in, you can choose to swap out Grasp for either of the other Solar mods that remain, which are like the Medic mod and the Orb of Light generation on multi-kills. But for general use, Grasp is kind of the way to go. The big thing here is that all of these mods affect the cell radius or damage for the most part, excluding Wrath and Grasp. The purpose of having Wrath is that most of this build will focus on using solar splash damage from a mix of weapons and abilities, and the cells themselves due to Rage. The reason that Top Tree Dawn is the pick is pretty simple, and it's the melee. The melee creates solar splash damage, which means that your melee can make a cell, and also your grenades are splash damage. So that's why you would want higher regeneration for both your melee and your grenade to use Top Tree. The only exotic that should come to mind with a build like this is Sunbracers, because you can chain back and forth between getting grenades and melee back and dealing a whole lot of splash damage. So, also for that purpose, you would want to have Sunbracers with enhanced momentum transfer, so that you can get the melee from killing things with your infinite grenades that you just got from killing something with your melee. Surprise, surprise. Also, another thing that makes Top Tree Dawnblade great for this is the perk Winged Sun, because that'll give you bonus ability damage when you get kills while in the air. So you want to be jumping around a lot when you're throwing your grenade and your melee out. So that covers the ability side of things. We're going to talk weapons real quick, because your loadout depends on the activity you're doing, but there's a handful of weapons that you can consider. For exotics, it's Ace of Spades, Monte Carlo, Izanagi's Burden, Jotun, Xenophage, and 1K. All of them except for Izanagi and Monte Carlo have some sort of solar splash damage to them, either directly or indirectly. In the case of Firefly with Ace of Spades, but everything else is pretty much solar splash damage free. In the case of legendary gear, you're going to look at, for your kinetic slot, firing line sniper, a decently rolled shotgun, or an Austringer with demolitionist. You want the Austringer for grenade regeneration. The other two are your primary sources of weapon damage when you're not throwing grenades everywhere and when you need to deal with a boss. And snipers, it's Tranquility. Shotguns, you can either go Hawthorns, or if you have a perfect Paradox with demolitions from last season, you know, just use that. For energy weapons, you're looking at the 7th Seraph Shotgun or SMG for obvious reasons. or the Martyrs make from last season, as it's literally the only legendary special weapon capable of creating solar splash damage for legendaries. Last up is the Heavy slot, and any solar grenade launcher or rocket launcher fits the bill. Love and Death from the Moon and Outrageous Fortune from the Vanguard are your options there for grenade launchers, and for rockets, you have Roar of the Bear from Iron Banner, Apex Predator from Last Wish, and Huscow from the Forges. And the last one is Pyroclastic Flow, which was last season's Season Pass rocket. You don't have to be super picky with your heavy choice, you just need reliable solar damage. That's kind of the build as a whole. I'm going to leave some gameplay going in the background so you can see the whole build in action and what it can kind of do. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys later.
There's Kargan.